Hello, Musto006. We're back for more Make a Good Mega Man level contest number 2. Figured out to beat the first 3 stages of Tier 5 plus City War last time around, so yay. Let's keep going. Gemini Man. I love arcade games. Gemini Man. I hate arcade games. Well, make your mind up. 47th. M9M. Elec Dam. Score 27.4. 27, 29, 28, 26, 27. A distinct lack of variance in those judges' scores. All between 26 and 29. It's about as middling of a stage I think as you could possibly get. And just the one energy element to get, so with no noble nickels. So, let's go. And not that I probably need to this time, because there's probably no noble nickel there, but yeah, let's just head left and make sure there's nothing there. Oops, shooting way too early there, don't know what I was playing at. I'm also being rather cowardly here and hiding down the ladder. I really probably don't need to do that, but oh well. Did I just scroll that enemy off the screen? I did. Nice. And I guess I'll sort of hang around on this screen long enough to show off the gimmick. So you can see the sort of timer there, where it sort of went from 3, 2, 1. So yeah, when it gets down to, is it 0? Is it actually 0 and then it fires off? Yeah, okay, so when it goes to 0, the second after that, the water will become electrified, and obviously you need to not be in the water when the electricity goes off. So yeah, so are you going to go for the enemy, or are you going to go for the bullet? You're going to go for the, not the bullet, the bolt. Cool. Now I need to hurry up. Yeah, it's not like insta-kill stuff, so I mean I could show it off, but yeah, don't worry about getting caught in the water if the electric goes off. It's not a one-hit KO or anything like that, so yeah, don't worry about that. But yeah, it obviously hurts, but yeah, nothing to be overly concerned about. Ow! Bother. I know that's probably a significant overreaction, you might think, to getting hit by that little mech, but I'm still sort of conscious about levels where I'm actually, not taking damage. I'm probably going to come back and do them all again anyway, even the 2 I've managed to pull off. So I have managed to pull off a stage 1 level, I think, and a stage 4 with no damage. But I will do those again, just probably in some sort of video purposely designated to, like, no damage runs and such like that. But yeah, obviously if I can actually clear a stage without taking any damage, then that screen's going to be annoying. I'm not saying this is necessarily a very good one to actually play in terms of going for a no damage. I'm sure there are probably much better stages to go for than this one. But yeah, that's just awful. I didn't appreciate there was a fan fiend up there that was going to blow me back. Yeah, so that I wouldn't be able to make this jump. I think I probably can make this jump if I'm sort of like on the right on the edge. Yeah, okay, fine. I can make that. I just was not prepared for the bloody fan fiend. I did not appreciate the fan fiend was there, so I wasn't right on the edge of the ladder. I thought, oh, well, I wasn't. Well, I thought. I wasn't even thinking. I wouldn't need to normally think about clearing the jump between the ladder and the platform there, but of course the fan fiend screwed me over. Lovely. Do I need to go down there? I do kind of question the area there that looks like I could have slid in it, whether there was something there or not, or an alternate path or something. I might come back and check that out, because my curiosity is getting the better of me. I assume again I'm going down. Yep, okay. Not that I need the E-tank, so I'm not overly fussed about that. I need to get after the screen quickly if that timer's going to start coming down. Gee whiz! Okay, so I literally had to get out of that quickly. And that was ridiculously clumsy. Yay me! Well, since I've now died... Yeah, okay, fine, this is an alternate path. Well, assuming this does meet up... Okay, fine, it meets up... Here? Or does this meet up? This doesn't look familiar at the moment. This actually looks different. Which could be quite slightly irritating come Oh no, it just takes me out here. Okay, fine. We have messed up. Okay, so we actually have shown both paths off there now. I actually don't even need to come back and yeah, do that again. So okay, one good consequence of making an enormous mess up. Right, see if we can time this out again. Good. Let's be a bit better with the jump this time, shall we? Yeah. Oh. But oh well, something good came of it. Something good came of it. I yeah, showed off the split pass, so now I actually don't have to come back and specifically show that off. I'm obviously, yeah, trying to pay attention here to the lightning, or the lightning effect in the background. So yeah. Just yeah, be careful with your jumps, and you've got more than enough time, you know, to react to them. It's pretty obvious if you've got the countdown going in your head when it's going to happen, and yeah, it's reasonably straightforward to avoid the. Oh, we don't have a boss. Okay, fine. To avoid the you know, electric flashes. So, fairly short and sweet level, I guess. Clumsiness aside. I don't. But yeah, I mean, interesting. I mean, I feel like you could probably speed run through a lot of that to the point where you actually, you know, the gimmick also sort of becomes a non-issue. But you know, when you are playing around with it, it's kind of fun. I do feel like you know, there were perhaps not too much variety in the enemies. That probably could have been a few more there, and the fan fiends just sort of, you know, it's just annoying enemies, just in terms of like slowing your progress and mucking you up. But no, again, overall, I have nothing too bad, nothing really overly bad about that to say about that. Again, it feels like a pretty kind of, you know, average level. It functions, it's perfectly playable, it's enjoyable to a degree, but and it's certainly got a gimmick to it. But yeah. I'd say it probably doesn't have, again, no wow factor, but yeah, I feel like it's got a gimmick that's kind of used consistently throughout the level, and so yeah, all in all, decent level, kind of liked it. Oh hey, it's that one gimmick from Rock Force. Unfortunately, it doesn't really do anything with it. The enemy type it chooses to use are some of the beefy, annoying ones, Hammer Joes, Konosubros, and Fan Fiends, and the time of electric water is really slow, so the level just kind of amounts to button mashing against tanky enemies and doing the occasional jump to avoid getting shot. It's really not the best, and there really isn't any creative setups with electric water at all. It just kind of exists there as a mild hindrance. There's really not much else to this level, really just button mashing against enemies. The music's nice though. Not a very interesting level. The shock gimmick in the water was kind of cool, but it wasn't introduced well or used in an interesting way, like the one in Shockman Stage and Rock Force. I didn't realise it was there until I got hit by it. Fairly decent level centred around the flashing water mechanic introduced early on. I think it was pretty fun, but could convey its ideas to the player better and use its resources in a more organised manner. Basically what I mean is how a level makes a few assumptions about the player which cannot always be guaranteed. On my first playthrough I completely missed the flash of water in the safe room in which it is introduced, only to then be surprised by it on the next screen while I was fending off a Hammer Joe in the water. In addition to this, I feel like the level consistently drops a few too many enemies on the player at a time, with the first screens already using two tanky ones in synergy with each other, and later screens almost ambushing the player with four at once. It can be quite overwhelming. As a result, I often found myself sticking to the edge of a room while taking care of the enemies currently on screen, but in some areas this became a problem as I got hit by the water from the adjacent screen, which I was already past, but which had a hitbox extending into the screen I was on. Okay. Overall, nice idea, but it needed more ideas mixed with the core concept to mix its challenges up. There's not a lot of bad things about this level, but then there's even less good things. I just feel that it offers absolutely nothing new or interesting and just gets boring most of the time. The one fairly original gimmick isn't interesting, and the level design is mostly just empty and boring, and occasionally there's too many enemies in one area. I don't know what else to say here. It's okay at best, honestly. That stage was certainly there, it existed. Reusing Rock Force's Shockman gimmick was absolutely fine, but this feels half-arsed. One stretch was interesting toward the end of the level, leaving me with nowhere to go but time to jump out of water. This was good. Wanted to see more clever sections like that. I think in this case, implementing another dev kit gimmick might have been good for you. This wasn't bad, but very, very average across the board. In other nitpicks, the colour scheme was bizarre and somewhat clashing, although the tile sets looked great otherwise, and there were several missing collision tiles in the middle of the stage, and it is possible to get stuck, fixed post-judging. The enemy selection was also pretty mixed, and several screens were very crowded. Overall, it's not bad, but very average, and I doubt many will remember this stage at all. Moving on. Magnet Man. I'm frustrated because I can't play any of the cabinets. When I get close to them, they glitch up. Oh, the pains of being a literal magnet. 46th place, Quint Boy. Quint Stage. Score 27.6. 25, 28, 30, 27, 28. And again, very, very middling scores from the judges. A bit more variety there, 25 to 30, but yeah, again, we're in the very much middle territory realm. One energy element. No noble nickels. That is begging to have something. And indeed it does, but it can't be a noble nickel. Fine, okay, it's just a whole bunch of bolts. I'll take them. No curiosity, 732. Okay, I need 900. Not paying attention to the screen transition. Lovely. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Duh. Well, that was a thing. Let's hope the level goes by a little bit better than that. I do not trust this thing. Okay, I can jump through the shade again. Okay, that's nice. Oh, that was stupid. Yeah, I'm paying attention to the number of bolts. I need 900, I think, for my final upgrade from the shop. But I also... Those aren't synced very nicely. But I also, at some point in time, want to collect 1,000, because I think that gets me the Scrooge McDuck achievement. Yeah, so I want to probably get 1,000. I'm not like so desperate, I think, for the final upgrade that I couldn't get to 1,000. You know, because it's only an extra 100 from being the 900 I need to get it in the first place. So, yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay, you're shooting. You shot there quicker than I was expecting you to. Oh dear, still reeling from that death. Stupid. Okay, well I don't think... Yeah, you are just appallingly placed. In terms of me being able to just wallop you and you being able to not do too much to me at all. Okay, and your shots are too high here as well. So, okay, your first... This is kind of weird. Your first hot dog enemy is definitely the most threatening in the sense that it can actually sort of attack me, whereas the second one's got no chance, and nor is the third one. That's very weird. Bit of a sort of odd difficulty scaling there. Where I would have expected the later ones to be more problematic, but it's actually your first one that's by far the most threatening. Okay, this feels a bit pointless and unnecessary. No! Oh dear. Hopefully there's a checkpoint as well in doing that. Yeah, fine. Yeah, that death again, as it seems to be sort of happening a lot of the time. I am, sliding a lot of the time when I don't want to. I'm sort of almost involuntarily hitting a particular button on my game controller when I don't want to. So yeah, that's really clumsy of me. And yeah, well, I mean, I'm thankful that this game again doesn't really have a sort of a life system. But as I say, that is an extra life up there, which would only heal my health, not my life count or anything. But yeah, I am getting... That happened again there. Wow, that was... that felt like I slid there when I really didn't want to. But yeah, that's happening sort of really way too often for my liking and causing a lot of problems. All right, fine, Metal Man. So certainly doesn't look like the end of the level, given that we've got another boss gate at the end. So, and again, I can't remember, but from the title of the level, I'm probably expecting Quint to make an appearance somewhere. So yeah, all right, fairly standard. The thing about charge shotting here, I suppose, is that it's probably not that helpful because as soon as I shoot, Metal Man's going to jump. So if he doesn't, obviously, if he jumped like fairly low, the charge shot would have a chance of getting him. But if he does a high jump like that, then the charge shot's got no chance whatsoever of getting him. So I'm just going to obviously just stick with the regular non-charge Mega Buster. That does the trick fairly nicely. I don't know what he's weak to. Excuse me. Yeah, I'd like to go through that boss gate. If that's all right with you. Got another boss coming up straight away, or maybe not. And hopefully, yeah, okay, there's more of those. Hopefully I get no glitches with these things, like in was it Hard to See Land? Yeah, Hard to See Land in why am I even risking doing that the stupid way? Let's just get Hornet Chaser out. Although I am very curious as to whether or not there'll be anything over to the right there. There is not, okay. So I've gone and took the unnecessary risk anyway. But that again, I know there are no noble nickels here, but that, again, that just looks like it's begging for... I suppose maybe actually without the... without the... okay, I can't go over there. Without the without any noble nickels, or the fact that there were a couple of bolts there maybe suggest actually that there wasn't going to be anything going on there. But, oh well, had to try. Yeah, so I'm going to take the coward's way out on this one. Don't mind sort of Yoku blocks normally, but when you start bunging them in with the magnets, little suckers or whatever, then no thank you. Just gonna, yeah, not gonna risk it, thanks. I've already died twice on this level, like, really unnecessarily clumsily. Am I supposed to be going down, I presume? Yeah, it's very kind of oddly designed in terms of, like, of trying to peg where I'm supposed to go here. I feel like it should have looped back round on itself at least half a dozen times. No. Just in case you drop a bolt. Oh, no! Really? Really, really? Well, that's just fabulous, isn't it? Great. Wonderful. Okay, that was kind of hectic. Yeah, give me my bolt. Okay. I think I'm just going to do that, to be honest. And hopefully not require Hornet Chaser very much more on the level. Okay, we're being kind of. I like this enemy challenge kind of thing. It doesn't feel like it's. It feels very mixed actually, but doesn't feel ever unfair or anything like that. So yeah, I'm actually really liking this this kind of mix of the enemies we've got here, and getting past some of these screens. Okay, another boss. Okay, you're just standard top man. Okay, well you should be no problem then. If I have any problems with you, then I should pretty much call it a day. That's a weird screen transition. Have we got more level or another boss? Or okay, it's another boss, and it is indeed Quint. Okay, fine. Well, we've seen. I'm actually remembering now that I did say I would try and use like like weapon weaknesses and such like that. I'm definitely on obviously boss I've already beaten, but yeah, I appreciate actually we've seen Metal Man appear quite a few times, but yeah, or indeed Top Man as well. But yeah, to be honest, for some of them I just haven't bothered. The more sort of less annoying ones, for want of a better phrase, I've not really bothered to like find out weaknesses and stuff like that. Again, I just almost prefer using Mega Buster. But someone like Quint, who can potentially screw me over, do lots of damage, and given he's got a real chronic weakness, I will whip out the Sega Command and stomp on his head. Turnabout's fair play, but yeah, I'm actually conscious I'm sort of not being probably very consistent in what I'm doing with bosses in stages. But oh well. Yeah, that level's yeah, pretty decent, I guess. I say I like the kind of most of the kind of the enemy sort of challenges and that. It felt like it's a bit kind of weird in terms of looping round and the directions all the screens are kind of going. But and again, I don't think there's anything like too massively impressive about it. I don't think there was really a kind of a set gimmick that the level kind of implemented really or utilised. It also sort of goes probably a bit boss happy or mini boss happy as well. I'm not really sure. Metal Man, Top Man, Quint, and the cat from Top Man Stage as well, wasn't it? Or the tiger thing as well. So probably just a few too many. I don't think it really needed like so many. I think they're all dev kit bosses as well. Probably didn't need all of those. So yeah, again, fairly mixed bag, but again, fairly decent level, and I enjoyed it when I'm not accidentally sliding or into pits or not jumping high enough when I'm going off a screen transition and landing back on the spikes that I saw 20 seconds earlier. Anyway. It's an okay level, but there are some rooms with very questionable design decisions which kind of bring the whole thing down for me. Mainly the part with the needles and ladders. It's fine some new shot man, which just cheap shots you sometimes it feels like it. It just keeps knocking you down over and over and gets you killed in an unnecessary, otherwise easy level. The problem screen is the one with the double new shot man. I have no idea how to dodge anything there, and considering it's right off the mini-boss fight, you might be low on health and immediately die. I think I managed to pull that off without getting hit, yay me. Other than those two screens, the level isn't really anything special. It uses like every asset related to Mega Man 2 on the Game Boy one, or II, but I don't think they would use that interestingly, with the exception of the Crash Man list. It's just kind of a level that exists that's all like, hey, remember what was in that one Game Boy game? I feel like more could have been done with this concept, really. Also, the transition from Top Man to Quint is kind of broken. I don't know what you did. This stage was okay, I guess. There was nothing particularly special about it, really, but it was kind of fun while it lasted. However, in the underwater section, it was a bit hard to tell what was a block and what wasn't, and the Crashman platforms went out of sync really easily. The Oku block puzzles would have been fine by themselves, but the magnets sent them over the edge of difficulty compared to the rest of the level. Yeah, I didn't even bother with those. The screen transition off the Top Man boss was really weird, and I think he forgot to place tiles under the vertical boss doors. A pretty good stage with some interesting ideas, while some rooms felt rather random, such as the second room from the start. All the basic ideas this level has with its gimmicks are executed pretty well. Aside from the spike ladder jump, as that part is just unexpected hits galore. The Uku block section, while intimidating, is nice, and I appreciate the safety net catching players who are learning to get used to the drag. Overall, a pretty neat stage with cool ideas that sadly are quickly tossed away before they can get expanded upon. There's nothing interesting here. It's alright at best. I think certain sections of this level just feel unnecessary. The 3 hot dog mini-bosses in a row were pointless, and the section with the Yoku blocks didn't need to be there, and could easily be skipped way too easily. Other than that, nothing here is particularly impressive. I think this level could be better. Fairly generic level overall, there is nothing noteworthy enough and wrong with it, but equally nowhere are the boundaries pushed enough to make it feel fresh. When your most interesting setups are replicating Magnet Man's Yoku blocks, but worse, and sticking hot dogs underwater, you know you have a fairly generic level overall. In all fairness, you do offer a few new setups on some of the interesting existing gimmicks that just aren't that interesting. I get what you're going for, you're trying to make this feel like a Wily stage, fair enough. The problem with mimicking the Wily stage from the early Mega Man games is, though, well, not to beat dead horse, they're generic. There are a few problem spots, though. I am not sure the Yoku blocks have handled well. The way the magnets are placed makes the player is constantly swapping between polarities, and magnets having no effect is disorientating. And I feel after a couple of attempts, most people will just give up here and use Super Arrow. Another issue is that pits are not in any way made clear that they are in fact pits, which is always a major annoyance. You set up the odd interesting optional challenge and reward as bolts. This will leave players feeling fairly gypped, since bolts really are not enough reward for tackling these areas. This contest has noble nickels as a collectible, you really should have used them, particularly over bolts. Also, 3 dead kid bosses for the price of 1. What they add to a level is beyond me, but they don't exactly hurt it either, so all is fair. They at least fit the stage's situation. Moving on. Blade Man. What are these mighty blades for, you ask? You may think they're built for combat, but their primary purpose is to make the world's best sushi. Okay then. Dagger Man. Psst. Don't tell Blade Man that I'm still down here. Or that I'm down here. He's still mad because I took his stupid wallet. Then I think he has every reason to be annoyed with you. 45th place is Ed Saber, a Mega Man for all seasons. Score 28.2. 26, 19, 39, 30, 27. 1 energy element, 4 noble nickels, but I'm not at all worried about noble nickels. I'm pretty sure they're all in recognisable places, and I'm pretty sure I know what this level, how this all works and everything like that. It's an interesting kind of level. It just feels, at least in terms of concept, but I just think the design probably isn't all that top notch in this level. But anyway, let's give it a go. October 15XX. For treason against His Grace, King Henry VIII of England, Sir Thomas More has been thus far imprisoned 6 months in the Tower of London. The music is also really, really freaking weird here. Not sure I care for the sort of like just the odd sort of odd weird noises every now and again. But basically, the concept to this level is, I mean, effectively we're storming this kind of castle. And this is obviously the first time we're doing it, but the level was called, I think it's called a Mega Man for all seasons, so we're going to get to do it 4 times, one in the, presumably, not sure which one this is. Is this going to be the, I'll tell you what this one is, whether it's the summer or the autumn one, after I get to the next stage, but yeah, we're basically going to go through all the 4 seasons, and we'll have a bit of a history lesson as we go, so I appreciate that, if nothing else. So Thomas More, how any man should be so much taken in with the glaring doubtful lustre of a jewel or a stone that could look up to a star or to the sun himself. Or how any should value himself because his cloth is made of a finer thread, for how fine soever that thread may be. It was once no better than the fleece of a sheep, and that sheep was a sheep still, for all its wearing it. Anyway, there's our first noble nickel, hidden sort of in the background here. Don't think there's anything over here. Yep, fine. So we'll climb out of there and we'll get whacked, lovely. Pay attention to that and make sure we don't get clobbered by the giant thing. And before we reach the boss door, we get teleported back here. Okay, so I'm guessing that would have been autumn. So yeah, now we're in presumably winter. October 15XX. Well, I guess it's not really winter given it's October, but I guess that's what this is going for. For treason against His Grace, King Henry VIII of England, Sir Thomas More has been thus far imprisoned 9 months in the Tower of London. So yeah, we can basically see we're going through effectively the same stage 4 times. Well, this is only obviously the second time. But yeah, previously we had in an autumn setting, and now we've got it in a winter setting with ice physics and different enemies. And yeah, I guess the enemies kind of fulfil the season that we're supposed to be mimicking here rather nicely. But yeah, at the end of the day, all we're really doing is playing the same kind of level 4 times, just with, you know, just with different enemies. Thomas More, for one man to abound in wealth and pleasure when all about him weep and smart for it, is to be a jailer, not a king. Okay, so this time I think the noble nickel is over here. Yep, good. So basically we're going to have one noble nickel in this sort of dungeon area down here. So we've got 2 of them, and yeah, we'll find the remaining 2 in the same sort of area. And yeah, once again, can I actually get the bolt? Yeah, once again before we hit the bolt, here we hit the boss gate, we're teleported back to the beginning. And now we're in spring. April 15XX. For treason against His Grace, King Henry VIII of England, Sir Thomas More has thus far been imprisoned 12 months in the Tower of London. And the rain is actually being used here as a sort of, it is the, wow. Okay, that's one way to get rid of an enemy. Anyway, the rain is in effect, or wasn't in effect with the Toadman sort of gimmick, so it was kind of pushing me back. So yeah, that's how that was working. Oh blast! Missed the bolt. It's not. It wasn't too difficult or anything like that. So yeah, or that obstructive at all. Anyway, so yeah. Where am I? There I am. Sir Thomas More, if the king should fall under such contempt or envy that he could not keep his subjects in their duty, but by oppression and ill usage, and by rendering them poor and miserable, it was certainly better for him to quit his kingdom than to retain it by such methods as make him, while he keeps the name of authority, lose the majesty due to it. Do you actually need an item to get that? Slightly irritating. I haven't used the wire in a while, let's do that. And we'll refill it for being very useful. Oh, okay, that's a rather chunky enemy for this section. And lastly, summer. July 15XX. Thomas More has been tried and found guilty of treason against His Grace, King Henry VIII of England. He is hereby sentenced to death. So, are we actually going to get to save him? Well, we'll find out in a moment or two. Yeah, I do like the sort of the obvious attempt here to represent the different seasons by, you know, the wow, that was a good shot. The background gimmicks of the enemies that are in place. So yeah, I knew that was going to hit me. I knew that was going to friggin' hit me. That can't be death, can it? No. But, yeah. Anyway, down we go. And Thomas More this time is nowhere to be found. There's our last noble nickel behind this barrier. It's probably one of the sneakiest of the lot, but oh well. We've got all 4 noble nickels. Oops, get back out. I'm toying whether to just, yeah, basically just rush this and get out. Yeah, I think we'll probably just do that. But Thomas More is still alive. My time draws near. With what wisdom shall I leave you? Perhaps you might enjoy a touch of gallows humour. My beard hath not offended the king. Pity that thou shalt be cut that has committed no treason. Ah, maybe not. You seem a serious fellow. This time we do actually get to go through the boss gate. And I guess we have a very fitting boss at the end of it all. Executioner. So More, I presume. Hasty any last... hasty any last words. Die, Commentary Man, maybe. And here you have no invincibility frames whatsoever. Oh, you rushed all the way to the end of the screen. Fine. But yeah, here you have absolutely no invincibility frames, and you are an absolute pushover. So yeah, anyway, it's a charming stage. I'll certainly give it that. I do like the history lesson, if if nothing else, with, you know, Henry VIII and Thomas More and all that. And I say I do like the attempt to have the different seasons represented. I think for what it's trying to do, it probably does it quite well. But ultimately, it feels like, I mean, there's quite a few sort of things that don't perhaps look aesthetically too nice. It looks kind of just a bit cluttered in certain areas, and ultimately, essentially, you are just completing the same level 4 times, one in each of the 4 seasons. But and the boss at the end is sort of a bit extremely nerfed by having no invincibility frames, so you can just absolutely pile on the shots and just drain his health like it's nobody's business. So yeah, a charming level, but visually probably doesn't maybe quite do as well as it could do, and yeah. After the 4th time going through what is ultimately just storming the castle and doing something quite similar, it gets a little bit repetitive, but no, okay, it's an okay level. I still like it. Cute little level, though I do feel like it kind of decreased in quality at the end and sort of became a mess. I like the initial room with the setups with the mummy rows, but later rooms just felt kind of like enemy spam, especially with the spring one with the chicken enemies. The level is pretty short, so there isn't really much to say, though in the winter and spring section it looked really weird when there was snow and rain but didn't animate. The idea is cool, the dialogue was more and the execution is funny, but there's not that much level design to go with it, and what is there is just okay. There's some weird enemy placement throughout, like there's a lightning lord at the start you can just snipe from the ladder and never poses an actual threat, among other things. It's a cute and good attempt, but I feel like it just needed more content in general and needed a better central focus. As time went on, this level made less and less sense, and the enemy placement felt very spammy. The third part was especially weird and nonsensical, with all the random flying shrimp. The graphics were particularly pretty messy, especially the 4th section with the random sand everywhere. Overall, the time travel thing is neat, but it kind of feels like the level just copied the same section 4 times and changed the enemies around every time, sometimes adding more hazards. The gimmick started off nicely, but the level just feels really rushed, especially toward the end. Overall, good concept, bad execution. The plot in this level is what made it for me, to be honest. Throwing Mega Man into this timeline like that is pretty silly, and while it's just the same few rooms over and over with a slight twist on it, I found myself just smiling at the charm non-stop. I wonder how this level could have done more to mix things up. It tries its best by introducing elements like water and quicksand, though I found them to be more of a hassle than addition to the formula, and while it did shake the environment up, it went away before I was able to get accustomed to it. In a sense, I like the janky, randomly changing environment that tries to get in the player's way over and over different methods. I'm just thinking if there was a layout that would have allowed for more customization between seasons. Sorry for rambling, really fun level. It's a nice little stage. I like the main concept behind it, and I wonder why the seasons gimmick wasn't used in any other level. I also like the boss choice and mini-plot. However, this level has many problems. Looking at the primitive stage layout as well as the bad enemy placement, I can say that I don't like the level design here. Additionally, I felt that getting through the same stage with minor variations 4 times was tiring. Also, the tiles were really broken and don't look good at times. Decent level overall, but it could be better. This has to be the just about the oddest Mega Man stage I've ever played. I mean, for all the issues, it's not without its charm, and I personally found it rather entertaining. Probably for the same reason you chose to do such a thing, actually. I dig this area of history and found the entire thing fascinating. The item hunt for nickels was pretty cool too. They're not hard, but they are neat. Can you spot the stray pixel clue, or spot this tiny hint challenges? The whole concept behind revisiting an area several times over the season was great. It's almost handled well enough, but the further you get into the level, the less sense the obstacles make. Enemy selections all over the place, but not terrible, just some odd choice every so often. Neat idea aside, this stage does have some glaring issues. There is a complete lack of challenge outside of maybe the squid on mid-boss, and far too many power-ups around the place make an already easy stage even easier. I'm not sure what's going on with the graphics here. For every well-chosen tile there is 2 really weird choices, and the level almost feels like you're playing a glitched stage. I feel really sorry for Camusa Man right now. I'm not sure why he was stripped of his hit invincibility here. There's also potential soft lock in this fight. If Camusa isn't killed in time, he'll run out of the area and leave Mega Man stranded. Whoops! Exposed judging, well that's a relief. It's certainly an interesting level and I enjoyed it. I'd be interested to see what other weird ideas you could come up with next.